Welcome to Recruiting 101, California Recruits. Just want to go over some stuff with you guys on today. Um, um, Talk to you a little bit about what's going on in the high school recruiting world. Um, Definitely want to go over what's going on in the high school recruiting, college football recruiting world, high school recruiting world. Let a couple people get in. I know I'm about 12 minutes late. I'm messing around with this live stream stuff, man. It gets me every time. You would think I would have learned by now, but hey, it happens. So just want to welcome everybody in, and let's just kind of talk about kind of something. We're going to talk about a couple of things with these 5 games. I want to talk to this class of 2021. Some of the things that you guys can still be doing to try to help out this whole recruiting process that you may be encountering. I want to give some realistic goals, some best practices, some things that you should be doing. Talking to the 22s, 23s, 24s, parents of those guys. I want to make sure that I would tell you that if it's something that you guys should be doing right now, as far as recruiting goes, if you grab a pen, piece of paper, definitely something that you should be doing over the next couple of months on what's happening, in the recruiting world. Give you guys, real stuff that's happening. So, so the first thing we want to talk about is these 5 games. Really excited about what's happening with each and every one of these young men playing in these 5 games. You want to make sure, and we talk about it all the time, as far as your film goes. Best plays up front. You got 5 games. You really shouldn't have nobody should have a 7-10 minute video when they're playing in 10 games. So these 5 games, you need to go hard and make sure that for 21, your best plays are up front, and that you are putting those clips out like today, like every Monday. That if you got 2-3 clips, put those out one at a time on Twitter. Start tagging some coaches, make a 40-second, 30-second, whatever, 3 to 4 clips are going to make that video now. And at the end of the 5 games, put them all together. You may have to subtract one and go from there. But those are going to be your best practices, best ways to, really, really get those things going. 411, what's up, mama? So we want to make sure that that you're doing this as fast as your school can upload that video to your huddle. You want to get that stuff in your huddle as fast, off of your huddle, on the Twitter, tagging those coaches right away. So those first 5 games. So some of you guys have played 2 games, so you should have at least 45 seconds, a minute. You may have a minute more, but more than a minute. But you don't want to just try to overkill your deal. IG is good. Here's the thing. A lot of coaches that I know use IG to kind of character check. They don't recruit check on IG. They character check. Because kids think, well, I'm not going to put this on Twitter, but I'm going to put this on IG. And IG is still a character thing. If you have a relationship with a coach and you're talking to them on IG, you definitely want to make sure that you're putting that information on IG so you and that coach can have that relationship. But if you're looking at new coaches, new people, you want to make sure that you're getting your information out on Twitter, because you want to attract the newer coaches, and most of the coaches are going to be on Twitter. If you're 2021, you have to understand there's a couple of things that are going on in every division, probably except your Division 1A and your Division 3. Your Big Sky Conference, your 1AA, 5 or 6 of those schools are playing in a 5-game, 6-game season right now. A lot of their recruiting for the 21 class is really pretty much over, or they're not going to do anything until the end of April if they're going to pull a 21 guy. So you want to make sure that, hey, DJ, you want to make sure that you are ahead of the game with your clips. I'm going to use DJ just because I saw him. Like Lauren Stuff should be on Twitter today. Had a great game. And I think both offensively and defensively, if you were playing on both sides of the ball and you got 3 clips on defense, 3 clips on offense, that stuff should have went out this morning, 9 o'clock, and tagging. The key is tagging the right coaches. For the 21 class, I want to be clear to parents, and you guys going to listen to whoever you're going to listen to. For the most part, these guys are pretty much done unless they lose a guy in spring ball, or they still have a scholarship, or something happens academically. So it's not going to happen until probably the end of April for a 21 on a Division 1A program. So please listen to me. You have to manage your kids' expectation. If you're still looking for a Division 1A Power 5 offer, I would tell you, you probably want to go JC, be a qualifier, and jump in the 22 mix, because it's going to be very, very tough if you are a non-measurable guy. That goes for PWOs as well. I've spoken with a number of schools. A school in Minnesota that just went Division 1. They have 130 players on their roster. They were a D3 program, too much of a powerhouse. They skipped over D2 and went right Division 1 AA. They have to get down to 85 by August. They have already said we are having to have hard conversations with young men about not coming back. I'll check it out. Without coming back. Manage your kids' expectation, guys. Do not have this kid thinking that they're not. You can listen. You can talk to 7-on-7 guys who got hookups. You could talk to whoever. The reality is, it is now. It's the March 22nd. It's April. Just talking to my son this morning. They're going into spring ball. They're going to try to see which seniors, which guys. They're going to walk-ons, preferred walk-ons, PWOs, saying, we don't have the room to keep you. Not that we don't want. You can come back January of 22 when the numbers get right. The numbers to me still won't be right, but most schools don't know their number. So please, please, please do not find yourself trying to understand, trying to push for something. If you're talking to a JC, you're talking to an NAIA school, talking to a Division 1 that's a preferred walk-on. I called for a 6'5" D lineman last week. The team told me we like him. We don't have the room. He can come, go to school for the first semester. He can walk on in January 2022. That's reality. And that's reality with a lot of schools across the board. That is not me just trying to – I'm not bad-mouthing anybody. If somebody else got a better hookup and they say they're going to take a kid as a preferred and they got it, take it all day long. But I'm telling you, as a whole, as you're going to manage your expectation, it's going to have to be managed from that perspective, when we're talking about that. So definitely look at that from that, like I said, from that mindset of what's going on with that. If you're talking with NAIAs, they're going to sign guys all the way through through April. You're 2021, and you want to play football, you want to go get your degree, there's some schools that you still have a lot of opportunities for. I know we got a lot of flack from people. Oh, well, what was club football about? Club football was about film and getting guys who were not looking for power fives right away or power fives. They just wanted to play at the next level. When you love the game, you'll just go play. And so what happened is we had a lot of guys uh, that were, NAIA guys that you're an NAIA guy and that's something that you want, then those opportunities are gonna be there, right? Yeah, Chris, thank you. His son's at Oregon State. I'm telling you, if you're trying to go, and this mindset I want to share with you of I'll just go walk on. I'm just gonna go take a walk on. Walk ons. Let me paint this picture for you. And a lot of times I think I get parents who go, "Oh, you make it sound so bad." It is not fun to practice all week and then watch everybody get on the plane on Friday and you have to stay home. Okay. It's not fun to not dress, right? It's cool to say, I'm at the school, I'm a walk on and I'm practicing every day, but understand where these coaches are today. They have all these seniors that are coming back to a year that didn't count. They have a new class of guys that will be coming in July. The walk on is not, almost don't need you even as a practice guy. So just understand what you're putting your kid in if they really have an expectation to play. So if NAIA is it, do it. Junior college football. If you're going to play junior college, East LA, great school. El Camino, Southwest. I don't know who's at Southwest or West LA now. I know, if you want the college feel, I said this the other day, being able to get out, your Kansas schools, if you go look and you do the research, your Kansas schools, a lot of your D1 football players come out of that Kansas and that Mississippi junior college world where you saw Last Chance U, where you saw Jason Martin, great friend of mine, love him to death, coach at Independence, their scholarship meal card dorms. You got to have a mindset with JC that you are going to truly be that guy that has a plan to get in and get out if that's what you're going to do. So I really, really will tell you, if those are your options, do your homework and make sure you're playing at a junior college level where you're going to have some opportunities. If you're in the Bakersfield area, can't say anything more about anything bad there's some great things about Bakersfield College. I talked about this the other day. Again, parents, if you're in this part, find an area where you can help afford the living as far as the apartment living goes. If there's no dorms, if you're not, leaving the state, because you're going to be helping pay rent with that Pell Grant. With that, you're going to be living with 3 other guys, maybe 4 other guys if there's housing. Contra Costa is another great school up in the Bay Area. Coach Coach O Overton from there, coached at Nebraska, coached at Florida, coached at Alabama, been in the SEC. He's a great guy. He gets guys out. He knows what he's doing. In a great program, Long Beach City. But Bakersfield, when we talk about Bakersfield, we talk about the cost of living. So if you're going to get a Pell Grant check for $6,350 and you got to stretch that over the next 4 months till you get another check, you want to be in an area where you can afford your student athlete to be able to do his homework, eat, and live without being, have nothing against College of the Canyons. I'm great friends with the coach, the athletic director, Mr. Coach Lyons, who's at Pasadena. You're going to go somewhere like that. Great school, great program. They have some financial aid and some housing, some situations, but we're talking 3 times the amount of maybe a Bakersfield or a Riverside or a College of Sequoia, is where the rent of a 2-bedroom apartment is going to be to $1,000 where they're going to be 24 or 2,500. Santa Barbara City, I know a lot of kids that were wanting to go down there, but the cost of living. If you're going to do JC and you can do JC from home at a good JC and you can drive, then you could almost pocket that other $3,000-4,000 after they pay for your school and books and help at your house with your parents. So that's going to be another keep going. Chris, no, Bakersfield, are you talking Bakersfield College or Bakersfield High School? Because Bakersfield College has Coach Todd Littlejohn. Coach Todd Littlejohn is there. There, I believe he's a spread guy. And I'm telling you right now, it'd be a great place because you can afford the living. You can get home in an hour and a half, 2 hours. You play still Elko, you still play Riverside, you still play Mount Sac. So your family gets to see you play. You're far away enough and you're close enough and far away enough to get a college feel and be in a good situation. So just want to make sure I'm not promoting just Bakersfield High, I'm just Bakersfield College, but I'm telling you, those are factors that from a recruiting perspective, all the JCs are going to get coaches walking through. But I will tell you, you got to have a plan because the portal isn't going anywhere right now. So if you're a JC guy, you don't have time to fail a class, miss a class. Some of the factors that I would look at as a parent, I want to talk to your academic advisor that works with the football team. What is the plan to keep this kid on track? He is trying to go Division I. He needs to be 2.5, and he needs to have 60 units and an AA before he leaves. How do we do that? How do we take 15 units and get 30 out in the first year, take another 6 in the summer, take another 15 so he can be ready to leave, all transferable units? I need to talk to your academic advisor. If you're in a junior college situation, you want to talk to the football coach. You want to understand, am I going to be playing? I need to come in and play. Is this a situation where I can come in and play? I got to compete to play. I don't plan on being here but longer than a year. I don't plan on being here longer than 2 years. I can't fail an English 101 class because that's going to put me back another semester. So you need to be talking to these guys and people who are going to talk to you about those type of things, because I've had more guys, JC, stay 3 years when they were supposed to be 2, or guys stay 3.5. And you have to remember, the minute you take those 12 units, your clock starts. So you have 5 years. You have 5 years to play 4. If you use one and then you mess up in a class and use another one and you mess up now your clock is going, and that NAIA school you was running from out of high school, that's where you're going to end up having to go when you leave JC. So you want to make sure that those things are really, really something that you do and have in place before you step on a junior college football program, and the questions you want to ask that team. Coach, just like you would be taking an 8th grader to a high school, how many guys are getting out of your program? Where do you guys typically send the guy? Can I meet with the academic advisor today? I want to set up, when I go enroll in school, I want to set his classes up. What's the first day of enrollment at the junior college? Because of that, I want to make sure his classes, do he get preferred? Coach, you're going to help him get his classes? Good. Coach, I don't want underwater bashing and weaving. I can't have 3 weightlifting classes and a swim class, because when it's time for me to transfer, I cannot leave. So that's where you're going to have mom, dad. If mom doesn't know, mom, you got to get with 7-on-7 coach, mentor, somebody that's going to set the kid up in the right way. If you do not like school and you know nobody's going to be rocking with you at JC and trying to follow you around, and you can get in NAIA right now, go to NAIA right now, because you're going to end up doing it anyway. That's my motto. Because if you don't like school and you need somebody on your head every day waking you up to go to class, but you qualify right now for some money to go NAIA, you probably want to do that right now, because if you're not going to do it in JC, it's rough. Bottom line, it's rough. And again, back to those preferred walk-ons, have those conversations. I'm calling schools all the time. I'd love to go live and call a school and let you guys hear these guys are telling you right out the gate, we don't even have room. And I'm calling and I'm asking about D linemen, preferred walk-on, 6'5", 265. Parents have money to pay for school, and they go, we'd love to, but we don't have that. We don't have room. So you got to manage your expectations. All right. 22s. There's a meeting in April. They're going to try to push the dead period forward so they can start doing official visits. So talking to compliance last week, they are going to be doing a meeting to move it forward so they can get some official visits going for 20, maybe some 21s as well as 22s in April. Let me share this with you. For a lot of you that have offers right now, that is going to be an indicator of where you are on the recruiting board coming up in April. Okay. If you are getting invited, there's a couple of things that are about to happen, and you'll see these slides keep coming by. There are a couple of things that are about to happen in April. They allow you to, they open up these schools for official visits, and somebody asks you to come up on an official visit. That is a strong indicator of where you are in recruiting, if you are a 2020, okay? If you are 2022, I'm sorry, a 2022. At that time, if you call and you want to do an unofficial visit and they allow you to come up, that is when we're going to do it. I will be doing an unofficial visit sometime in April. Once this meeting goes and they clear and they allow guys. So I will be taking a number of our clients on some college visits to some of the schools that we work with: Cal Poly, Fresno State, San Jose, Nevada, Sac State. We'll do a lot of California, and then we'll go into Utah. Myself and Mr. Cordell Knox with IE Recruits as well. Yep. And so want to make sure that you know. But this is an indicator. So for my class of 2022 parents who are like, oh, he got 5 offers, 4 offers, he's got 3 offers. When you're at that single digit offer and you haven't really talked to anybody, when this opens up, it will be your time to go visit these schools. It would be your time to say, hey, coach, you guys are open. We'd love to come out and visit. Another indicator is going to be camps this year. A lot of your college camps are going to be invite only. From my conversations, because of COVID, they are not going to allow us to have 300, 400. We're not going to have 300 and 400 kids being invited to camp. A lot of, and I'm telling you, parents who are like, oh, we don't go to teen camp. We're going to go to this. We're going to go to that. You better start saving right now. Pick out your 5 camps, 3 camps. Some of them are going to be on the same date. I'm going to tell you right now, if you're 2022 and you don't have an offer from a Power 5, but you have Big Sky stuff, and there's a Big Sky camp, say a UC Davis or a Cal Poly or a Sac State, and there's a Cal Berkeley camp, same day, same time, I would tell you, if you don't have Sac State, but you got Eastern Washington and 4 other Big Sky Conference schools, I'd probably go to the Sac State camp because I'm a Big Sky guy. I'm not saying you're not a Pac-12 guy and don't go, but I wouldn't waste my time going to that one unless they invited me there and I talked to a coach. So camp is going to look a little bit different this year in the process of how we do camp, why we go to this camp as opposed to going to another camp. And it's going to be, hey, how do I follow that based upon my recruiting? How do I follow that based upon text messages and conversations I'm having in the DM with a college coach? If I'm having a conversation with a guy and he's like, hey, man, we really want to see you at camp, and it's an invite camp and he invites you, absolutely. But, they're going to cap off. If they're not invite only, they did say they're going to be capping camps off. So you are going to have to really sit down with somebody and go over, is this a good camp for me to go to? Am I wasting my time? And I'm going to tell you from a DB perspective, wide receiver perspective, lineman perspective, O-lineman perspective, based upon your measurables, why I wouldn't go to this camp as opposed to going to this one. What are you looking for, right? We all realize our kids have dreams of playing at the highest level. At the highest level. I can go to Oregon camp. I'm 5'9", nobody's recruiting me from Oregon, or I can go over here and I can go to Sac State. And Sac State, Coach Cherokee has reached out. He's talked to me a few times in the DM, told me he likes my stuff. He follows me. I'm going to Sac State camp. I'm not going to Oregon camp and then find myself, I got to manage this expectation because 22s. And if I go back to this, let me go back to it with you 22s. The numbers will still not have changed until the class of 2023. So the numbers for the class of 2022, as far as recruiting goes, right now, Fresno, I think Fresno said 16 or maybe 17. Right? 16, 17. Colorado told me something like 19. These guys don't have 25 scholarships to give. They got 13, 16. So after they recruit that top 100 guy, and Chris, I'm going to answer that question. After they recruit that guy, there's a lot that you got to, you start looking at that next tier guy. Where is he at? How much has he developed? That's why these 5 games are so important. That's why trying to stay healthy, putting your body in the right position. Are you going to play club in the spring? Are you going to play 7-on-7? Or are you going to go get a speed coach and track coach? Work on your body, work on your grades. And I definitely want to talk about that again because I keep hearing guys bring this stuff up. But you want to make sure that you are in a position to where you're getting that film out and stuff going. Chris said, "What about guys with no offers?" The kids with no offers, you really have to really sit down with somebody that's going to keep it 1 million with you, not 1,000 and not 100, 1 million, and look at where you are as an athlete. Look at your academics and say, what do you want? Or really find out where you are. And if you are a guy that is a mid-measurable guy, you're average size guy where there's a ton of 5'10" wide receivers, but you have a 3.8 and you run a 4.5 and you have above average film and your numbers are great. You have to ask yourself, if a 1AA is having a camp, I'm going to go to that camp. If NAIA school, guys, I know there's a ton of emails going out from this company that's going to have D3s, JCs, NAIAs, D2s. They're going to have it. Grandview, I think the other one is Western New Mexico. They've been sending out these emails to all the kids, and kids have been getting them. I'm going to go to that camp. I think this year is the year you go to that and you really have a realistic view of what does Western New Mexico have to offer me, and when I hear parents say, oh, we're looking for anything, but then you shun that camp to go to USC camp, then you didn't do the right thing. You didn't do the right thing. You went into the one where your emotions say, oh, I want this. This is what I want for my kid. Not, this is where he is, right? This is the reality. So what the kids that don't have an offer but have great grades, Please understand Division III schools, how they recruit. They don't have large budgets. They're going to go to camps like that. They're going to call services like mine. NAIA schools. I'm talking with Bethany, Bethel, Sterling, Baker, ton of schools out of the Kansas area, Minnesota area. Start figuring out where your kid really wants to be so we can do some real regional recruiting so we can understand if your kid doesn't want to be way on the East Coast, then we have these Western states and some mountain states that we're going to be dealing with. I love Hunter Riley. He's Montana State Northern. He's in that Montana area, Idaho area, where there's a ton of NAIA Division II schools that we're going to work on. California doesn't have any Division II schools anymore with Azusa closing. So when you leave that Division I, 1AA recruiting, cluster, if that's not what you are and you're a D2 guy, you're going to have to leave California, and you're probably going into a cold area or an area that's very rural, like New Mexico, where Western New Mexico is. You may go into a Texas, but you have to understand the financial part of the Texas. Texas gives out just like a Cal grant or Pell grant to their in-state kids. Those kids, if that school for them in-state is 10,000, they're getting 6,000 of that. So this is the part that people don't really talk about. It comes down to scholarships and money. If I'm at a school in Texas, let's say University of Texas Kingsville or Texas A&M Texas Commerce, D2 school, and in Texas that school is $12,000 a year, and that kid can get 50% of that with the Texas grant, which would be like the Cal grant or Pell grant. That's 50% of that taken care of. Football throws in another 6,000. That's a full scholarship for a local home kid. I'm not going to California to get a kid because it costs me too much money. Out of state, they're not getting the Texas grant. They got to come in and they got to have some money. So you have to understand how that works so you can manage that expectation, right? So if that's going to be a D2, you may want to stay where they have what's called the WUI loan in your neighboring states like California, Nevada. I think it's Washington, Montana. I think Idaho has the WUI. The WUI it makes your student athlete in California, from my understanding, it makes that athlete a in-state, get the in-state cost. So the in-state cost for that student athlete, if is 12 and you get a Pell grant at 6, it's a 50%. Now football is able to come in and give a certain amount of money that then makes that a full scholarship. Kid doesn't have to pay. Boom, 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 boom. So those are things that you want to make sure that you're getting to understand them. And guys, this is what working with a service does. It's not the hookup. It is educating you on these type things. So now when you sitting in a room with your kid, they're not disappointed. You still can play, son, but we're going to have to go this route. This is how this is going to be. This is how we're going to look at it. Everybody's not going D1. We got to tell kids and tell families the truth and how it works, and that's how we do it, or how I do it, and how we do it with California recruits to make sure we manage that process. Okay. The next thing we want to make sure of, and it dawned on me. Please schedule the SAT, ACT. As COVID is getting, as we're getting these numbers down or whatever it may be, some of these tests are going to stay. I have heard too many parents and too many kids go, well, they said it was test optional, I don't need it. Test optional doesn't mean don't take the test. It doesn't mean that. Okay? Too many of you guys are not taking it and then going, oh, I qualified. I'm a 2.4. I had a kid say, I'm a 2.4. I'm a qualifier. And I said, what was your SAT? Oh, I don't have to take it. A lot of the schools are saying test optional. No. If a kid has a 2.7 and a score, you're not getting in over that kid. The admissions department is still you got to be exceptional. The football coach got to be able to go in, and he got to be able to fight for you to get in on some tests optional. So if you have the ability to take the test, take the test. Do not take the test. Please do not take the test. Take the test, please. I will not stress it enough. Take the test. You want to add value to yourself, even if you have a low GPA, if you have a high GPA, take the test. Do not, oh, I don't have to take it because they said that. You want to take the test, okay? You definitely want to take the test. Lastly, and then I'll take questions, 7-on-7 club football. For us, we're still doing club football in the spring. We start in April 17th or April 24th, whatever. We got a meeting tonight. We will figure it out. We're still going to have 5 games because we have a ton of teams in Las Vegas. Unlike California, when they said they could play, their district said, forget it, we're not doing it. Their kids still want to play. They have 2021s that want to have a season, and we want to bless them by being able to do so. If there's California kids that didn't get to play, I would say definitely contact us. We still have opportunities for them to play on club football teams. I just think, again, film, opportunity, understand what you're doing it for. If you're 2021 and we're playing April into May, the likelihood of you getting a Division I Power 5 offer is going to be like me and you both winning the lotto tonight. It's going to be tough, okay? So you want to make sure you manage that expectation. Same, 7-on-7. You're an 8th grader and you're getting ready for high school and you didn't get to play your youth season. I think 7-on-7 is the best thing for you to be able, especially if you're a skill guy, if you're a lineman, find some 505 camps. Call Sandra Hodges. She knows what's going on with the linemen and that kind of thing. And I think that's something that you would definitely benefit from. So we want to make sure that we that's something that you do. All right. So questions for me. If you have questions, you can start shooting them now. I'm gonna stay on for a little while, answering any of the questions that I can. I'm looking in the feed. I see right, okay. I don't see what I did answer that. Craig, if you're still on, did they have the vote for seniors? I did not know about if they had that vote. Miss Mendoza, I need to get with you and your son, find out what's going on, so we can get Juan going. But yes, there's camps, there's clinics, there's stuff that's going on. We want to make sure that we put people in the right position. Okay. I can be reached, guys, if you have a question for me, at 323-335-6359. Also, you can check out CA Recruits .com. You're looking to do a Zoom meeting or something like that to you want to do a one-on-one and we talk a little bit about recruiting for your kid. We do all sports. I'm working with a very amazing soccer player named Kayla Gomez out of Long Beach Poly. I do golf, volleyball, baseball, soccer. We do all sports because recruiting is recruiting. But you do need to understand the types of recruiting there is. So like I said, California Recruits, as well as that's it. That's our website. You can definitely get with me on that. I am going to do a new Twitter show where I'm going to be showing selling the kids on Twitter to college coaches, having them watch a live show like this, but I will be breaking down their huddle and who they are and how they can be reached. So you want to be part of that, in that part of that of our service, please definitely get with me. We are No Child Left Behind. We do have a fee, but we work with a number of everybody and how we work with you. So definitely give California Recruits a call. Call myself. Some great benefits in it. If you're going to be doing any of the college touring with us, if you're 22 or 23, 24, on those college tours, we get a lot of those student athletes offers at that time. Coaches are liking to see and get eyeballs on kids because they haven't seen them. Some of your kids have grown tremendously over this time with COVID, whether up that way or out that way. They've gotten bigger. Coaches haven't seen them. They haven't been able to. So I will tell you in the next couple of weeks, unofficially, I'll be going to some spring games and spring practices, and I'll be reaching out to some guys asking, if you guys would like to come up unofficially. We're going to go visit my son, both of them, and walk around campus. How about that? And I can tour you guys, and then we'll go from there. Even though it's a dead period, we'll be doing some stuff like that. So thank you guys for tuning in. My son is going to Ohio for high school reclassification. Is that a good move? All expenses paid. Absolutely. If he's going to Ohio, I don't know. Is that Craig? If that's going to be a prep school, is he going for reclassification because Ohio is allowing seniors to have their year back, which is great. I don't know. I would make sure that you can do that. I do not know if you have to be a resident for a certain amount of time. So you want to make sure that is, you have to, set up residency. And I think that's a 6-month process. So, but if he has a mother there and that's where he moved, he's a senior, I don't know. I would make sure of all that stuff. Is it a good move? I think it's always it's a good move if you're talking to college coaches. If you go, coach, he needs this other year and he's going to take this other semester and it's going to put him in a 22 class reclassification. As long as you're talking to enough coaches or somebody that's recruiting him, it's good. If you're going in it with the hope that there's going to conjure up a whole lot of new stuff, I mean, I would say, definitely look at the likelihood of how much new stuff that's going to be. I mean, that would be my question, Christian school, good. Bishop Seymour Foundation, open to play. IMG, St. Francis. Okay. I mean, great opportunity to play on a team like that. I still would say I got to have some relationship with coaches to say, hey, this is where my son's going to be. I know you guys liked him early. I know we didn't have a full season. He's a senior. We've got an opportunity to get our year back and play another year. I don't know what that looks like for you guys. Don't know what that looks like for your numbers, because the numbers, as I said earlier, the numbers are the numbers. A lot of these schools, class of 22 numbers aren't great numbers, meaning the amount of scholarships that they have. So you definitely, and I saw Akili on here, and I want to make sure I bring this up. I got into it with Akili a little bit about the black college stuff, but it's the same thing with the monies with the black colleges. Parents, I hear a lot of people go, oh, yeah, we'll just go HBCU. Like, they don't have a lot of money. They don't. I don't care how much y'all see LeBron and people give it. They don't have a lot of money. And when you're coming with a California kid, they want you to have some financial aid, some money in the bank, along with what they are going to give, especially when you're not in one of the, and I would say, Jackson State is in a whole different ball game with Deion and what he's doing. But when you're looking at, I'll say when you're looking at what they're doing, you got some other schools, Grambling and some of these other schools, they don't have the same resources and amount of money and celebrity that Deion has to help. Don't have a lot of money, and when you to help with that, by giving them by that money, having that money and those type of resources. So you want to make sure that when you're reaching out, you have an understanding and that you talk to a coach that's going to give you that. Love Tyrone Wheatley. Tyrone Wheatley is Lord help me. I always say Wagner. He's not at Wagner. He's at Achilles. Help me again where Tyrone Wheatley is at. Tyrone Wheatley just keeps it all the way 100 with with what he says about his about you know um, coming into a college, coming into a black college, and it's just the amount of money that Morgan State. I said Wagner, Morgan State. He's at Morgan State, and you want to understand that. And then again, I have people go, he don't want to go far. Well, I don't know what you call far because you don't want him to go to Montana and Idaho is this, and I don't want him going way over here to Minnesota, but he'll go to Louisiana or Baltimore or Central Ohio. Like parents, like really get your understand what you're saying when you say it, because a lot of times people go, "Oh well, I don't want him to go here. Or, I'm not going." Yeah, you don't want to go that far. Oh yeah, he'll go to Grambling. Some of it doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? I want to make sure that that stuff is making sense. Okay. Um, so, any more questions before I shut this thing down, man? I really appreciate you guys jumping on with me with Recruiting 101. As I said, I'll recap those 5 games. Get your huddle for your 5 games. 5 games, guys. Please don't go over 3 minutes, 3.5 minutes. Don't try to put, you know, 12 minutes in it. Make sure that your first clips are your most exciting clips when you're doing it. 21s. If it's JC, NAIA, preferred walk-on stuff, got to wrap your mind around it. It's the reality of where you are. Nobody's saying you can't play D1. It just comes down to a numbers thing, right? It just comes down to a numbers thing. If the boat is sinking, they saying women and children first. Okay, you find yourself as a male, it's a numbers thing. It doesn't mean that you can't swim, you can't go, you can't play. It's numbers. It's just what it is. It's not a knock on who you are. It's just what it is. And you either have to find a school that is going to allow you to walk on. It has to be D1. And that's just what I get from a lot of parents. Like, it has to be D1. It has to be D1 because you feel like, that's what it has to be. And okay, if we find you a D1 with a preferred walk-on, just know what that preferred walk-on situation looks like for the first year. And right now, there's no scholarships to give. So if they prefer walk on you right now, they don't have one to give you now. And when the spring comes, they're still going in the portal. They're still going into high school, and they still may go JC. So that's 3 other opportunities of people getting scholarships before you as a walk-on. So that's the reality. You want to make sure that you understand that as a walk-on. When you deal with 22, like I said, that meeting in April, strong indicator of where you are on the recruiting board. Start inviting you to official trips. Okay, invites to camps. That's what's going to be coming right now. Campus camps, college camps. If you live in a local area, and I didn't say this, if you live in an area where Fresno State is, and you're in the Central Valley, and they have a camp, it's probably a camp you want to go to. Cal Poly, probably want to go to that camp. Sac State, probably want to go to that camp. If you can't get recruited locally, you can't really pull a whole bunch of people from everywhere else to get you. I was talking to my soccer girl, and I was living. I was talking to my soccer client, and I was letting her know she loves North Carolina. She loves it. But if you can't get USC, UCLA, and you don't get Cal, and you don't get these bigger schools on the West Coast to recruit you, why would North Carolina come all the way here to get somebody that not even USC or UCLA wanted, right? So you kind of got to use that same mindset of what you want to do from a recruiting perspective, right? Yeah. So just make sure that's something there. And then, like I said, club, SAT, take the SAT, take the ACT, get it out of the way. Parents, lastly, take your kid on a vacation in April. If they are interested, or you really don't know if they can handle living on the East Coast and you have the financial means, jump on a plane, man. Go to DC, go to the Baltimore area, go look at Take some time out. Look at some of these Division III schools in the Pacific Northwest. Look at some of these smaller schools. Give them an idea of what it actually looks like and what it is, because we only know what we see. The kids only know what they see. They only know USC, UCLA, Oregon, Cal. Why? Because that's what they see all the time. And when we start talking about other schools and other situations, the first thing they do is, I don't want to go there. Where's that? Who do they play? What is that about? Da, 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 da. Okay, right? So thank you guys for tuning in, man. I really appreciate it. I don't see any more questions. Um, you have any questions, again, you can contact me at 323-335-6359, or you can go on California Recruits, send me an email message. I'll get back with you. I'm out. If I